So Dave, here we are at the APC.
Yeah.
What do you love about the permaculture community?
I like its radical diversity and the ambiguous complementarity and all the challenges of different perspectives and different ways of doing things, but all through the lens of permaculture.
Here we are back on solid ground. Dave, what is it that you love about the permaculture community?
I think the sense of the shared experience, despite people's diversity, that everyone has a strong connection through the permaculture design course, and the sense of a tribe that is expressing a different way from the norms, because that is reinforcing for someone who's at the edge, radically pushing boundaries. That can feel very alone for people, and coming together like this, there's a sense of solidarity, and we are strong to then go out and do the work, the activism work of the way one lives, the way one relates to people, pushing boundaries, challenging, but looking for the opportunities to connect rather than push people away. But that is quite difficult work. It's historically, with all activism at all levels, has been difficult, and the coming together gives that solidarity and that celebration.
I love that. You can absolutely feel that here, the sense of groundedness and the sense of warmth that people are getting from connecting with each other, and then also the motivation and excitement to go out and share that. In all of the talks that you've seen here so far over the weekend, what are you excited about? What are the new perspectives you've heard, the projects you've heard about that's really got you up and about?
Firstly, the ongoing legacy work over 20 years in Timor-Leste of Ego Lemos, and the whole grassroots bottom-up, but then influencing all the structures of government in that very important but very small country, Timor-Leste. That seems to be reaching levels of fruits both internally in the country, which I'm very excited about at the practical grounded level, the connected to cultural restoration and the global outreach. And I think that's in a sort of reaching some sort of critical threshold of outreach that is an outcome of this whole permaculture movement to a degree. But it's also a connection for those of us in one of the longest affluent countries in the world, Australia, to relate to the other work in the world of permaculture at the other end. So that I'm more excited about even than I have been in the past. I've always been a supporter of that.
Since the last permaculture convergence in Australia, and now we've had quite radical shifts in the world. Those shifts have enabled a new generation of people to come into permaculture. There's an accessibility that the internet has provided, which I guess has also then moved the position of people like you. It's really highlighting your role as an elder in the community. And what does it mean to you to be an elder?
Well, I think that was a slow process for me to come to terms with, because I've always been, in some ways, the biggest internal critic of the movement. I've always been an observer in the early decades, in that I was the co-originator of the concept with Bill Mollison at a very young age, and then I watched this permaculture movement thing that Bill Mollison created as the acknowledged father of the permaculture movement over quite some time, and that moving from being the challenger, the confronter of ideology or orthodoxy that was developing with our ideas, to move to accept that, firstly, that concept of leadership, which was very challenging for me. That's not my role. I'm a doer and a challenger. make people think differently, devil's advocate, and then to be an elder and accept many different ways and not have to be up with everything technically, and to celebrate and reference young people who are doing things, younger people, some of those younger people that have influence are now in their peak power in their 40s and 50s, and others who are coming along, and I think people, for example, like Brenna Quinlan as permaculture illustrator, of course, given the boost up to be able to use her passion in illustration with her passion for permaculture to be the illustrator of Retro Suburbia, and that dedication of younger people doing things in different ways. And I think another key collaboration there for me is to see people like Charlie McGee and Formidable Vegetable Sound, the ways in which permaculture is being communicated through arts and culture, and that sense of, isn't it great we supported them early on, and look what has come out of some of that work.
Thank you. Thanks for all that you've contributed, and thanks for talking with me today.